Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And I was looking over my past couple of videos where I did reviews of radios, and I noticed sometimes I forget to go over some items about a radio. And if I am reviewing a kind of a expensive radio, I use my checklist or my scorecard. And the scorecard is broken down into like 6 items. And so a lot of things are grouped in each of the items. So I kind of have to remember, what to talk about under each item. So I thought, well, let me expand that. And then I got to thinking, maybe I should make a buyer's checklist that I could use and my viewers could use when they're thinking about buying a radio. And I'm looking for your inputs because I'm no expert. And I could have left off things, and I could have too many things on here. So I'm going to show you what I got so far. I've spent about 15 minutes on it. Here it is right here. Here's the buyer's checklist. And I'm going to go over each of these items and just give you an idea of what I'm thinking about. Now, you would use this checklist for a certain radio you're looking for. And the features that you want in that particular radio. So you won't use all these. And the way I'm thinking you would give it a score at the end is if you want the item and it has it and the reviews and everything says that works good, you'd give it a 1. If you don't care whether it has it or not, you'd give it a 0. If it doesn't have it, or the reviews say it doesn't work very good, you'd give it a -1. And then at the end, you'd add up all the numbers, plus and minus, zeros you wouldn't, of course, include. And then you would divide that total number by the number of items that were non-zero. So you wouldn't include the 0. So say there were 10 items that you wanted in a radio, and you've scored it either a 1 or -1. So you come up with a number. And then you would divide that number, that total, by the number of items. And that would give you a percentage. And like, ABC scores, you'd say A is 90 or 95 above, whatever. Now, it's probably not that simple, and I haven't tried it yet, but I'm thinking this would work. Now, the score is going to go down, of course, if you get a bunch of minus numbers. So it might go down to like a 50% at the end when you do the division. Well, that would probably tell you, hey, you don't want this radio, look at the next one. So these are just ideas I'm kicking around, and I'm looking for inputs. That's what I'm looking for. I need your inputs. So I'm going to try to cut and paste this list and put it in the first comment under this video. So you can cut it and paste it into whatever you want to paste it into and kind of manipulate it and give me some feedback. That's what we're looking for. That's what my shows are about, sharing information. I'm no expert. I make a lot of mistakes. So I'm looking for your help. Maybe we can, as a group, come up with a good checklist. So here we go. So, does it have the AM band? Is that important to you? Maybe you don't care about AM. Maybe you're just looking for a shortwave radio. So if you don't care, that'd be a 0, and it wouldn't be included in the count. If you wanted to have AM, and it does have it, you'd give it a 1. Same with FM, shortwave, airband, long wave. So any of those that are important to you and it has it, you give it a 1. If it doesn't have it, it's a -1. If you don't care, like you don't care about the airband, it's a 0. Single sideband mode. Do you really want single sideband mode? If you do, you're going to give it a score whether it has it or not. External antenna. Now, this can vary depending on whether you want a portable radio or a tabletop. Tabletop, you probably want external antenna. Portable, maybe not. Especially if you're only looking for a AM/FM portable. If you're looking for short wave, you will need an external antenna of some kind. So, earphone jack, is that important? I personally don't like earbuds, so that's not important for me. I'll give it a 0. Telescopic antenna. Does it have a telescopic antenna for FM, shortwave, and some of those other bands that you need the telescopic antenna? Does the telescopic antenna swivel? To me, that's very important. If it's a portable radio and I'm going to sit it back or on its back, I want that antenna to swivel so I can get as vertical as possible. Maybe I can't get it vertical, but maybe I can get it at a 45 degrees. That might be acceptable. Something that's important to me on a portable radio is a kickstand. Not necessary, but I really like kickstands. Because a lot of these portable radios that are small, they don't want to stand up too well. So I like to be able to put them kind of back on an angle with a kickstand. You could add an external little kickstand device if you want to. Does it have a local DX switch? Is that important to you? If you're going to listen to shortwave, that might be important. Or even on AM and FM, there might be some strong stations nearby that swamp out other stations. You need that switch. Okay. Digital readout. Is that important versus analog? Me, I love digital readout. I like to know exactly what frequency I'm tuned to. So that's important to me. DSP tuning with muting. Does it have that? So if it has DSP tuning and it does a terrible job of muting while tuning, that would be a -1 in my book. Fine tuning. Does it have a fine tuning option? Either a separate knob or where you can push a button and that the tuning knob now is fine tuning, or does it have some fine tuning buttons? Multiple bandwidths. This is important for shortwave listening. Multiple bandwidths. Don't really need it for AM and FM. Okay. MP3 player. Do you want an MP3 player? Recorder, microphone input. Does it have a built-in microphone? Recorder, radio, recording off the built-in radio. Does it have that? Do you insist that it does? Direct tuning, in other words, keyboard tuning. Do you insist it have that? Memory storage. Does it have memory storage that you can save stations that you found that you want to go back to? Does it have auto scan the bands and look for strong stations? And does it have auto scan and store? Now maybe I don't need both of these. Maybe I just need auto scan and store. I got autos. Let me fix that real quick. I'm correcting these as I go here. Whoop. There we go. Yeah. Try to get this list as correct as possible, even though it may be wrong. Maybe there are things on here I shouldn't have on here. Maybe I missed something. So please let me know. Battery. Is it battery powered? And what kind of battery? You know, a lot of these new radios are using cell phone batteries and they're using the big 18650 batteries. So if you're on a trip or something, you may not be able to find those batteries right away. So you might want it to only be like standard batteries, AA, C, AAA, D, whatever. Okay. Does it have AC power adapter? Number one, capability. Maybe it doesn't come with one, but you could buy one. Or does it come with one? So is that important to you? Tuning knobs versus buttons. I like a tuning knob. I don't like tuning with buttons. So that's important to me. Another item is, of course, price. Now, when I say price, what I mean, oh, my cat just jumped on my desk. Don't touch anything. Is it a good price for that particular kind of radio that you're looking for? You know, like for instance, the Grundig 750. When I bought that, it was about $240. It's now almost $500. Well, at $240, I think that was a fantastic deal. At $500, nah. So, new versus old. Do you insist that it be new? If you don't care, you'd put a 0 here. If you insist that it be new and the one you found is used, you put a -1. Size. Is it a table radio or is it a portable radio? Which is important to you? Maybe you don't care. And lastly, if it's a portable radio, does it have a good handle? So that's 30 items that I've come up with. Maybe, like I said, maybe some of them you don't care. And if you're not interested in a particular item at a particular time, you just score a 0. So it doesn't count. It doesn't count against the score. It doesn't count for the score. So you just put a 0. So what you do is you score each one of these +1, -1, or 0. And then you add them up and you divide by the number of non-zero items. Items, you don't include the items you don't care about. So say there were 12 items in this list that you were interested in, and some of them didn't get included and some of them weren't any good, so you'd give it a minus, so you include those. And then you would divide, and I'm not sure this math's going to work out. You would divide by the number of items. So if we had 12 items, we take our score and say I'm going to make it real easy for my little brain. Say we got 10 +1, so it included and it was good, and we had 2 -1s. So that would be a score of 10 out of 12. You divide the 10 by 12 and you get a percent. And that's your grade. So say, and you can determine what's acceptable. Say, if it's for you, if the grade is below 75%, it's a no buy. Say, you know, if it's above 60%, it's a buy. You have to determine that. And then you have to tweak it a little bit because there might be something that you absolutely need, like single sideband. Say you absolutely need that. Well then, even though it scored an 80%, it didn't have the one mode you wanted, it's a don't buy. That's easy enough to figure out. Anyway, I'm looking for your inputs. If you have additional things I should add to this list, let me know. If you have comments about any of the ones that I have here, let us know. We're here to share information to help each other out. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up and have a great day. Bye-bye.